Alright, welcome to another Trials tutorial guide. Right now we're going to go into a little bit more advanced techniques. So I usually like to make all my tracks in the desert. This is where I made the Keys to the Studio track. This is where I made other tracks like The Walking Dead. Everything was made in the desert, in a 360 or anything. Because the desert was the most plain and the most flat terrain on the map. You see, there's just like this flat place. Now if you want to get rid of the sound, just press back. I'm just going to raise this up. I don't have to touch any of these. So we're going to make a skill game. We're going to make a ball game. So we are going to select the rider. We're going to turn him frozen, turn off sounds. Frozen, turn off sounds. Now, don't we want to make a good type game? So what we're going to do is we're going to find the highest point of the map here. But first of all, the one thing that interferes with our map design right now is this beam of light. So you got to go up to it and delete it. Now we got to go all the way up, which gives us a high enough altitude, and delete it. Now we have the highest building's gone. Now we can go above the map. And if you guys have the DLC, and if you don't have the DLC, you can use this thing that opens and closes, and you can remove everything down on the bottom if you choose. But since I have the DLC, I'm going to use the Awesome Level Max DLC, and I'm going to put an Earth Horizon, and I'm going to put it right there. Now, does this Earth Horizon look good? No, it doesn't look lively. So let's like beef up the color a little bit. We're going to turn on emission a little bit up. So it looks like it's crystal clear. We could change the color, the roughness. Oh, we could leave it about right there. That seems like a good planet Earth, doesn't? Doesn't seem to be moving though. That's why you gotta adjust it with other effects like clouds and stuff, and you can just make it more lively. But this is the tutorial. We're gonna use an Empire of the Sky hexagon shaped platform. Is it Empire of the Sky we're looking at? It's probably under platforms. There it is. So we used this last time for my Ball Master map. If you guys ever tried it or played it. And what we could do is you can grab another one and combine it with the middle. So we have a nice combined map. Alright, now, since we have that in place, we can have a ball. So there's spheres here. We're going to use a custom big sphere. We're going to put a sphere right here. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. We're going to make it max size. Alright, now we're going to put it above the ground. Then we are going to adjust its gravity to about we're gonna say 20,000 kilograms, which is awful heavy for a ball, but this is a video game world, so you got to, wow, these are really hard to change. Alright, now when that's in place, make sure you do fast object and physics on, so the physics are on, and then physics should be on. Now what you need to do is you need to set it to a game camera. Go to track settings, go to skill game, select custom object, select the ball, select that as your custom object. Now we're going to put that in the middle. Alright, it's in the middle. It's readjusted. Now we can take the camera and move it into position. The ball looks like it's not perfectly straight. So I'm gonna screw up our perspective. Now we need to grab this. The ball. We're gonna do a bird's eye view perspective. Alright, that should be fine. Get moving. Little platform to do some parkour after. Now this is how you make a simple ball roll game. We're going to make a death barrier for our ball game. So our death barrier is going to be a area trigger, and our area trigger is only going to be affected by none of these, but select object instances, select the ball. Now we're going to change the area filter. We're going to increase it by 100,000. Now this is going to be our fall area. If people die down here, the game will register to restart the entire game all over. Alright, there you go. Alright, and it's always through the balls. There's going to be like a little tiny arrow. You see that little arrow going up? It tells you that it's corresponding with the ball. The coordinates are corresponding with each other. Now you need something to trigger it. So what you would need is a player event. And the player event will restart you from last checkpoint. Just leave it to him. Accumulate a fault if you want. Go to on hit and select this event target. Now when the rider falls off, you'll spawn exactly at that point. Okay? Now we're going to make a finish line point. And our finish line point is going to be the exact same thing. It's going to be a trigger. And the trigger is going to be resize the size. Select object instances. Recheck all those object instances. Then you must go to select the ball. It will highlight blue. There, and now you must go to a end event, finish line event, and then on hit to an end finish line event. Now you got a death barrier, a kill barrier, and the finish line for your ball map. Now all you need to do, if you want to apply extra animations or anything like that, it takes a lot of time and all this other stuff, I will show you how to make a button if you want. So I will just go to this event right here, put something on the ground. Alright, that's going to be like that. Okay. Now we're going to put a button. This is going to be our button. Our button's a little bit too big, so we're going to increase the variation size to a smaller variation. This is going to be our button. Now, so that this doesn't interfere with the track, we're going to say does not have any collision, no contact response. So I mean these objects don't affect the ball now. Now what you need to do is, I usually like to make buttons like this. I turn emission all the way up, roughness all the way down, or roughness all the way down, make it black. And I'm going to grab one of these. I'm obviously going to shrink it to the size of the button. Obviously it already has the corresponding blue dot with the ball. Now we're going to make a sound source that when it activates this button we are then going to make a color event that changes the color when the button is pressed down, and it's going to make a sound. That's our primary objective here. Then we are going to say we want this to be green. The emission's already up. Make this green, select event targets. It will change green. We'll have a sound. We're going to go to sound sources to select the custom sound sources already available from the game. We're going to go up here. Alright, this is going to be, it's going to be a coin pickup. You notice that I set it to static, means it can play anywhere, doesn't matter where it is. You can turn that option off if you want to play it only in a certain... you cannot customize the radius, which is bad. Maybe you could with more of the advanced features, but I don't know how to do that. Now all you have to do is select event. Then what I want you to do is copy, paste, drag it up and down. And then I want you to select this event. Now let's make it more complicated. Let's say if I want 2 buttons. Yeah, let's say if I want 2 buttons, right? Alright, let's say if I want a button to activate something that wasn't there before. Let's say make this invisible. Okay, so it's invisible now, we can still see it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to... We're going to group this entire object. So we just grouped it right now. We're going to say group. And now all we have to do is, you know, copy and then paste. Now what we could do now is we could make we're going to make these I'm going to say ungroup. We're going to say unabled. We're going to increase the size. Alright. Unabled, and then we're going to get a state event. Remember, I'm giving you the full package here. We're moving a ball. If you want to skip to the ball, just skip the video. I just want to add this in to make it more interesting. Most people don't know how to make a death barrier. Most people don't know how to make a finish line. I want to help all those people that don't know how to do this. Spread the knowledge around. Most people know how to make buttons that corresponds with other buttons that spawn other objects. Also needed for this type of skill game to make it more interesting, more fun, right? So this is these hitboxes are going to be off. It will be turned on with this event. So now what's going to happen is we're going to say, am I screwed up there? We're going to go up and down, right, to make an overlayer lapping, and then, alright, so what I'm doing here is, this switch will always be on. When the ball interacts with this button, when I'm pointing with my cursors over right here, it will always turn on, and then it will give the corresponding signals to turn this button on. So this button is off right now. None of its buttons work. So what I'm making is I'm making a button to send a signal to the other button to say turn on. So, but then this button right here is going to make this platform appear. So it's almost like you're making your own puzzle game. So this is how you make more, you know, invisible objects reappear during the in-game world, animations, effects, on timers, and all this other stuff. So if you want it on a timer, you're always going to use the delayed impulse and select the timer setting. But we are going to use, we're just going to add a simple, not even an animation for this video tutorial, and we're just going to add a visible. It means this object will become visible when this button is turned on, but before this button even gets to be turned on, this button over here on the right has to be turning on this button, then it will activate the signal to turn on the platform. I know it sounded a little bit confusing, but when it's over, when the calculations and scripting are over, you can actually see it. So this is visible. Now I gotta make another box, but I have to turn it on to give the signal to turn it on, so I'm gonna have to say on. It's gonna highlight blue. Then I'm gonna put this box that it's gonna say on hit to this event, and then now I'm gonna put it down where now it looks like a button. So this is how you make buttons and activate certain events. Now since we have that in place, let's make the ball now. Now the ball is the most complicated errand. What we need is we need controller inputs I mean. And we're going to have a horizontal and vertical, 3 dimensions. This is a 3D game. We have a left, right. I don't know my left or right. And now we're going to have state event. So what a state event, you see it's a door open, door closed, door open, door off, on, off, on. And so it works the same way, you know what I mean? So we're going to have an off. Off is going to be on this end, and on is going to be on this. So you can choose whatever direction you want. And on. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to use diagonal, means it uses the diagonal coordinates to the ball. We're going to say on release, off, on down, on. It gives you a corresponding signal. You see that? Now what we're going to do is obviously we're going to turn those off because I want to copy and paste my objects. Alright. Can we edit the object's variation? No, we cannot, which is horrible. We gotta select them manually. We gotta go back to controller sticks. And we have to have a right, a left and right, horizontal. This is our horizontal movements. Now we're going to have our vertical movements. We're just gonna throw you off. This is not up. This is straight. North and south, east and west. Think about it. North and south. This is north. This is north, east, west, north, and then we're going to have south. We're going to program south. This is going to be south. Okay? This is not up and down, this is south. Then what we're going to do, since we're going to have these, we need more of these, we're going to say combine, combine, combine. Now individually, which is a pain in the ass, we gotta go release, 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 and we saw a mistake already. What does this say? Use diagonals. We gotta multi-select, and then we're going to say, now all of them are selected. It says hold to multi-select down on the bottom. You see that? Hold to multi-select LB. And now we're going to say on down, because it's not a button, it's not on press. So on down, on down, on down, on down. See? Now the tutorial's it's a little hardcore. Alright, now since we got all those, now we need corresponding targets. We're gonna use directional and magnetic forces for our ball. So we're able to be pushed. So we're gonna use up the physics tool, we're gonna have area effectors. We're gonna select this axis so we can change the horizontal point of view. And then we're just going to move each one up. We're gonna go up, up, and then up. Alright, this is going to correspond with this direction. But we're going to set its properties first. We're going to go to size, we're going to set it to the max, which is like 1 billion. All the way max, which is 100, I think it's 10,000 meters. Or it's 10,000 meters, 0.00. That's the max it can go, 10,000 meters. Alright, now we're going to say, select object instances, and we're going to say the ball. So it corresponds to the ball. So we edited that already. And now we're going to say disabled. It's not going to be abled. You'll see why. Now, since we have those, we just go copy and paste. Now it's going to be corrected to the ball. Let's select a different direction. Now we're going to select up. You see? Up. Or I'm going to put it on this side so you can see, and then we're going to do down. Which I just confused you guys. We're going to remember this is north and south. Now this is going to be this way. We're going to delete this one, which just confused you. We're going to go north. You see how it just got confusing? And this is going to be south. North and south. North and south directional inputs. Now they're all corresponding. Now we gotta connect them all together so they know what they are telling, right? So all the come on, game. So all the south, we gotta select on hit to these event targets. All the north, we'll select these corresponding targets. This target right here. Remember, I'm multi-selecting all these. Multi-select. Then I'm going to select event targets to this. Multi-select. Select event targets to this. Now we got our ball controls. Now we have to make things even better. We could also have something to organize here. You can select a random data source. Just say extract function. And then we could change the name. We can name it player controls. We know what I mean. Alright, so my spelling is bad. Alright, player controls. And it gives you a nice, and you can do that for every one to keep your player cards organized, extract function. And now, the best part of the game, we're going to say test. We're going to turn off music. Even better, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make a custom sound source. We're going to go to an interval. And with the interval, what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to send one impulse, reset when able, disable impulses. We didn't do that yet. And we're gonna go to an on-hit event. You know, I think we could just put a sound event. I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, we can. Alright. It's gonna play a sound event as soon as the map starts. And then we are going to put a sound source. An environment sound source. What do you hear in the background? I'm gonna go to courtyard and say static. And we're gonna turn it off. So as soon as the game starts, the wind will go on, or you could leave it on for more realistic interaction. Alright. Let's test out our ball and see if all our connections work. Alright? Our ball works. North, south, and horizontal. This button doesn't work, you see? We have to go over here. This button turned on. Now this button's gonna turn on. Now that platform reappeared. Now we could finish the game. Alright. Now we're gonna see if our death barrier works. Yep, it works. You see, I got teleported back. So that's how you make a ball game. Now this Trials Fusion's controls are horrible. So when the ball game starts, you just have to rotate your left stick 360 degrees, multiple directions, then start the game. It's a little bug with Trials Fusion on the Xbox One. But all then it's good. There's probably more sophisticated, more technical ways. I was trying to watch tutorials the other day, and Mutatus, as always, will melt my mind on different. It's the creators of who made the editor and stuff. It's pretty amazing. The stuff that I don't know how to do yet is obviously rotate the camera with your right stick while the ball is moving. I do know how to make first person because there was a first person tutorial for Trials Evolution. You should go look that up or buy the game if you want to. The best first person tutorial out there is there. Or you can go to Red Link's forums and annoy the team and say, I don't know how to do this, and ask how to do it, and they'll tell you. But yeah, until then, that's how you make a ball. That's how you make a ball game. So if you love this tutorial, please share it, and I'll see you guys next time. But before we end it, this could be a little annoying. You would want to select one. You have to select up to one bike. Okay. Go to track settings. You can select your difficulty, your medal times. Make sure to set medal times. I see most tracks that do not have medal times. Instructions, track description. Make sure to turn off tricks during a skill game. Only use the first bike, which is the baggy, because you have to pick just one, and I don't know why there's no option. Your score sets the max. Make sure your max is 30. I'm just going to do a variable. I'm going to say 49. The max is going to be 30. You cannot make it more than that. 30 minutes, 500 volts. Make sure your max is above 30 so people can go and take their time, or the time will stop. Or you could say ascending and descending. You can make clocks time down. You can do up to so many score values and everything like that if you want to make scores and multipliers and points and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? You could make it. You can customize your musics and stuff. People have also been asking me, how do you make a music event? All you have to do is... I should have ended this video already. All you just have to do is grab the music event, set it to 1, copy and paste, on hit 1. You could also make the ball disappear at the ending so you don't see it, and have a custom camera. For those who do not know how to do that, I'll set that up real quick. So I'm just going to add a visibility event. We're going to say hidden. We're going to select event targets. We're going to say the ball. Then we're going to select an impulse trigger. Set it the value to default. It's already set to 1 second. Then we're going to select a camera event. Then we're going to select event filter. Position it with the camera. Then we're going to do this real quick again. Copy and paste. Move it up and down. On hit. Again, copy and paste. Move up and down. Layer it again. And we're gonna say delayed. This time it's gonna go to the delayed impulse. After 1 second, after the rider disappears, the camera will drop. It thinks the ball has disappeared. We are going to select, since this is even better for you guys, we're gonna select a regular camera from the common checkpoint. No, we're not gonna add a checkpoint. We're gonna add a camera. Cut and interpolate 0. We're gonna sneeze. Make sure we do that too. We're going to adjust the camera like this. No, cut and interpolate is there. We're going to select camera. Select this custom camera right here. And there you go. And now basically what we're going to do is we are going to select the custom camera, blah blah blah. Now if people don't want to save these camera controls, or what we could do is we can go to area selector. We can select all this. Now we can just move it up and down, you see, but I'm not going to readjust it. And then what you could do is you could group all the objects together and then save it to a favorites category and say save. But we're not going to do that because I know how to do this. So, yeah, let's run the test. It's playing well. Dink. I'm going to go to dink. And there you go, just like that. It's not as amateurish now. Sorry that video was a little long. This is the easiest way I know of making a simple ball game, and this is how I make my ball game. So I made 2 ball games. Obviously, those ball games has way more complicated interactions that take a lot of time. I hope this half-an-hour tutorial has taught you how to make a ball game. Right, I finished it in 18 seconds. It's just easy. I made buttons, I made atmospheric background sounds, I've made ball controls, I've made an off switch to turn on a button, an off switch, an on switch, a hidden platform trigger, and a finish line, and also a death barrier, just in case you fall off the map and you don't fall forever, don't die, you respawn back at the same point. I do not know how to make checkpoints. You have to ask the Dave team for that, because that's probably super complicated. It'll probably melt your mind. Don't even ask. But ask. If you want to get better at the editor, you gotta ask, or you just gotta get good. All intents and purposes, I should have ended this video a couple of minutes ago, but I wanted to add more key features, how to make a good professional ball map rotating off the sky using the horizon. If you don't have the horizon, you could use your imagination and make your own background in the bottom using other DLC packs or the in-game packs like water, expand the water, whatever. Until then, or you could use the environment settings to make the ground invisible, and you know how you make Space Max. You can customize the skybox and change the cloud settings and the sun, rotation, longitude, latitude, you know what I'm saying. But until then, if you want more tutorials, you can request one. If I don't know how to do it, I'm going to say I don't know how to do it. If I know how to do it, I'll make a tutorial. So if you want to watch my other tutorials, go to my trials tutorial, how-to tutorials. I have ones with commentary, ones without commentary. Watch the ones with commentary, they're better understanding. Yes, so that is it. Alright, bye.